Good morning. Would you all please stand in honor of our graduates? And would you please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem? Lee. We have the Director of the Office of Staff Development and Training, Spencer Noble. We have the Honorable Judge Tanya Cutchin, along with Correctional Training Coordinator Matthew Waddell, and Correctional Training Instructors LaTanya Middleton and Travis Lockett. If we could give them a round of applause, thank them for being here. We also have several special guests in the audience. We have Workforce Management Deputy Secretary Stephanie Freeman. We have Employee Engagement Director Tiffany Vaughn. And on the community supervision side, we have Field Services Director Carrie Treadway, Program Services Director Brian Gates, Administrative Services Director Teresa Starling, and I have seen Division I Administrator Kim Williams and Division I's Assistant Administrator Bill Woolard. And I apologize if I'm missing anybody else. If you would like to come up and find me after the ceremony, you can chew me out then. We also have a lot of other community supervision staff here, chiefs, officers, field specialists, AJDMs, JDMs. Thank you all for being here to support your new coworkers. A lot of friends and family here as well. Thank you for making the drive down here to Samarcand. Glad you made it. It is in the middle of nowhere. You may not have believed it existed when you first heard about it, but it is here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting us with your loved ones for the last 8 weeks. And then thank you for holding down things at home. Cadets, please give them a round of applause because they deserve it too. And finally, cadets, soon to be officers, congratulations. It has been a long, long, long 8 weeks, both here at Samarcand and at the Office of Staff Development and Training in Apex. But you've done it. Congratulations. This day is about you. I hope you are proud of what you have accomplished, and I hope you recognize that all of these people behind you, they are here to see you and to support you. So congratulations to all of you. At this time, I would like to introduce our first special guest. She has been with Class 3A in Apex for the last 8 weeks. Please welcome Instructor LaTanya Middleton.
Good morning. I'm going to say it again. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's what I like to hear. All right, my name is LaTanya Middleton. I'm one of the correctional training instructors here on the PPO Basic Training Team. I definitely would like to send out a very special thanks to, of course, Instructor Brian Gammon and all the field division specialists and adjunct instructors that assisted with our community class in Apex. This surely was not a one-man show. So PPO Class 3A, y'all know what time it is. It's officially what? Showtime, that's right. You persevered through hideous traffic, long lectures, CRD, CRDT, firearms, and active assailant. I just want to leave you with just a couple of nuggets. Don't forget Middleton's GREs. You know, the G is for genuine, be you. Be respectful, have empathy. Also, don't forget about the department's PRR. Y'all know I love acronyms, so y'all see it right here. Protection, innovation, rehabilitation. Starting out protection, safety is paramount. Make sure the scene is always safe. With the innovation piece, innovation is the process of bringing about new ideas, materials, products, services, or solutions that have a significant positive impact and value, what I would call thinking outside the box. Just know, hopefully we have given you some tools for your toolbox. Just know that one tool don't fit all. Lastly, with the rehabilitation piece, you're going to be matching the probationer with the right treatment and resources to address those criminogenic needs, hopefully to invoke pro-social thinking, reduce criminal behavior, and ultimately producing law-abiding citizens. So just in a few moments, you're about to be the newly sworn in probation parole officers for the state of North Carolina. I want to leave you with this one quote before introducing PPO Class 3A's speaker. And it goes here: be the change that you wish to see in the world, Gandhi. So without further ado, welcome to the podium, Sharianique Becton.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sharianique Becton, and I would first like to start off by thanking Deputy Secretary Tracy Lee, Director Spencer Noble, Honorable Judge Tanya Kutchin, family and friends, JDMs, field specialists, and everyone else I couldn't mention. Thank you for joining us in this special moment. My class and I have had some good memories during these past 8 weeks. from having to carry a nail file to class every single day to ensure that our fingernails were 1/4 of an inch, because no matter how low we cut them, Mr. Gammon would say that they were not short enough. From standing in the back of the classroom to keep from resting our eyes, from practically running to our cars to check our phone on every single break, from constantly hearing candy bags rustle due to snacking, from doing wellness and fitness and burning more calories doing the Harlem Shake than doing the standardized walking in place. I would have never in a million years thought that we would be doing CRDT break falls. There's actually a proper way to break your fall when you fall. And I also had no idea that keeping your head off the ground would feel like I'm lifting a 100-pound boulder. From doing car searches and having Miss Middleton as a very non-cooperative offender, to say the least, we had a lot of "this is Miss Middleton speaking" moments. From being shot at during active assailant and doing the Matrix, trying to dodge the bullets instead of taking cover and shooting back. Even our 4-day stay at Salemburg wasn't all that bad, especially if we stopped by the cafeteria and ate some of those yummy cheese grits before going to class. Also want to add my opinion on scheduling pepper spray during the week of midterms. In the moment, I thought the idea was absolutely insane, but now looking back, I realized if we were scheduled to do it at the very beginning of basic, a lot of our class wouldn't be here today. Out of all these moments, I enjoyed the fellowship we endured. I've never been a part of a class where everyone just fits together like an 18-piece puzzle. In our 18-piece puzzle, not every piece has to fit the other 17 pieces, but when they fit together with who they're supposed to be with, they create a beautiful picture. Let us also remember that our journey does not end here. Graduation marks the beginning of a lifelong learning process. Let us continuously strive for excellence, knowing that our efforts contribute to the greater good of society. Our words and actions have the potential to shape destinies, inspire change, and cultivate a brighter future for those under our care. Today, as we stand on the threshold of a new chapter in our lives, I am reminded of the profound impact each of us have in our chosen paths. As probation parole officers, we are entrusted with the responsibility of guiding individuals through their journey of rehabilitation and integrating into society. In closing, I urge my fellow graduates to embrace the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead with courage and determination. Let us never forget the profound impact we have as probation parole officers, shaping lives and communities for the better. Congratulations to the class of 2024 3A. May our journey be filled with purpose, fulfillment, and endless possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Cadet Beckton. Our next speaker is Instructor Travis Lockett. He has been with Class 3 for the last 8 weeks. Please welcome Instructor Lockett.
Good morning to our distinguished guests, friends, family, and colleagues. Today, I proudly stand before you to introduce the 2024 PPO Class 3 at Samarcand Training Academy. The men and women seated below me have spent the past 8 weeks training at this state-of-the-art facility. Each trainee brought a different perspective to each class. During their training, each student shared their past experiences, skills, and ability, which made our classes engaging. I can truly say the time I've spent with our graduates has been memorable, to say the least. You all have challenged me to become a better instructor. I challenge each of our graduates, to be safe and be vigilant as you serve our communities. Remember, if it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Today marks the beginning of an exciting and rewarding career. As you leave this place, I send you out as agents of change. Go out and transform and impact the lives of our offender population. Lastly, remain honest, remain humble, and remain helpful. Again, congratulations, you have earned it. Congrats. And at this time, I would like to introduce Class 3 speaker, Mr. Arnold Samuel.
Good morning. First, I would like to thank Deputy Secretary Tracy Lee, distinguished guests, faculty, staff members, family, and friends for your attendance to the graduation ceremony for the Basic Probation Parole Officer Class 3 and 3A 2024. Today is a bittersweet moment for both Basic Probation Officer classes. We are here to celebrate our accomplishments for our hard work and at the same time mourn the loss of officers who sacrificed their lives in Charlotte on April 29, 2024. They were protecting our communities to keep us safe. I am here to say this has hit home. Although we want to celebrate, our hearts are very saddened. We're always taught to celebrate life through God's eyes, but we cannot fathom the thought of how the families are feeling right now. Their loved ones gave the ultimate sacrifice to protect all of us. We have now accepted this role to protect our communities. I want all of you to think, are you willing to make that ultimate sacrifice? Always remember, there are people that will make it difficult for us to perform our duties. So take what you have learned here and apply it to your daily lives. At this moment, I'd like to ask everyone to please keep the officers' families, friends, co-workers in your hearts and prayers. On March 11, 2024, the Basic Probation Parole Officer Class 3 made the Samarcand Training Academy home for 8 weeks. During that time, we had to endure the rigorous training from walking to and from the shooting range, CRDT, and fitness and wellness. This training challenged our minds, body, and spirit. But as a team effort, we cheered, sweat, bled, and even to a point danced to get through the hard work we were faced with by the instructors. It was challenging just to walk up the hill to get to the cafeteria and classroom, but we sacrificed the feeling of the discomfort because we always knew it would come to an end one day. The day is here. We have finally made it to the top of the hill for the last time. Today is the day we could officially call ourselves probation parole officers. We are now going back to our districts and apply what we have learned with our offenders. Our goal is to help them complete their supervision successfully. But do not forget your safety is paramount. Situational awareness should be part of your lives every day, whether you're on or off duty. I want to challenge your families today. These officers are making sure they're being safe every day, and even if to give them a hug, a prayer, and tell them that you love them, it really makes a difference getting through their day. We're going to have challenging days ahead, so we have to always be prepared in our minds to be successful and safe. I want to share a short quote with you that has always been a favorite of mine. It's by a French microbiologist and chemist by the name of Louis Pasteur. He wrote, "Chance favors only a prepared mind." I took this quote as meaning to be, if you're mentally focused and prepared for a task that's presented to you, your success rate will be higher. All of us have prepared our minds and successfully reached the plateau and become the new breed of probation parole officers. Let us be proud on what we have accomplished because we earned it. The time is now that we serve our community with the core values of pride, protect, respect, integrity, diversity, and excellence. Believe in it throughout your entire career. Now, on behalf of the Probation Parole Officer Class 3, we would like to thank our instructors, Wardell, Gulius, Lockett, Thomas, and other instructors for their dedication, commitment, and provide us with the instructions and training to be successful. We also thank our class leader, Officer Grace, for being our guidance throughout the basic class. She had numerous challenges with so many different personalities. Thank you for not giving up. I also want to give a personal special thanks to Officer Jordan. For her commitment to never make it easy on me during our physical tactic drills. Being small, she has a lot of power in her takedown drills. I finally realized my age at that moment. Thank you, Officer Jordan, for your high spirit. In closing, I'd like to say to the entire Probation and Parole Officer Class 3, 2024, when you exit these gates of Samarcand Training Academy, we will leave a memory that will never be forgotten. It will be followed by new probation and parole officers. Lead with excellence and be safe. God bless all of you, and thank you.
Thank you for those words, Cadet Samuel. And let me just say that I am glad that I'm not the one that has to try and follow that speech. But now let me introduce the man that does. Our next guest is Deputy Secretary of Community Supervision, Tracy Lee. He is a 34-year community supervision veteran who began his career as a probation officer in Charlotte. Before becoming director in May 2017, he served as Assistant Division Administrator overseeing probation and parole operations in the 3rd Judicial Division, which covers 22 counties in the Piedmont Triad, Sandhills, and Northern Mountains. Since 1990, he has worked as an intensive probation officer, chief probation officer, assistant judicial district manager, and judicial district manager, all in Mecklenburg County. Deputy Secretary Lee leads a statewide probation and parole system of more than 2,600 employees who supervise nearly 98,000 individuals on probation, parole, or post-release supervision. Community supervision operates with an annual budget of approximately $250 million. Deputy Secretary Lee holds a degree in criminal justice from UNC Pembroke and is a graduate of the Department of Adult Corrections Correctional Leadership Development Program. Please welcome Deputy Secretary Lee.
Good morning. Were those not some impressive speakers? Lord have mercy. Yeah. So it was brought to my attention today that we're live streaming this, so we're going to need to cut right now. Is that possible? No? It's my honor to be in front of you guys. I can't tell you how humbled I am. You are a very, very impressive looking group, both of you. Today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about moving forward. What does your career look like, and what does it mean to be a probation parole officer in today's day? And share some things with you, and that I hope you will be able to take back with you when you get to the real world. And, you know, probation parole officers we're law enforcement, we're counselors, we're coaches, we're mentors, we're all those things, right? A chameleon, you're wearing a lot of different hats. But most important, you're agents of change, right? Your job is to affect change in those that you've been tasked with supervising. And that is sometimes a difficult thing to do. And I will tell you, not everybody's going to be accepting of what it is that you have to offer them. And we understand that. But moving forward, you will be equipped with the skills that you'll be able to motivate individuals and try to have discussions with them as far as making better decisions. You guys are familiar with the Professional Alliance? Somebody say yes. Okay. Motivational interviewing, things of those nature. You know, it's interesting, and I envy you because you are being trained in those things, because that is not something that was available to us years and years ago. I will tell you that the average office visit lasted about 5 minutes back in my day. And you had 3 or 4 questions you asked them. Have you moved? Have you been locked up? Have you paid your money? Are you still employed? And there may be another one in there. And that was the end of the conversation. Now I ask you, how effective was I in making any change whatsoever in this individual's life? None whatsoever. So what we did is we monitored you. When you messed up, we dealt with you. So the expectation for you guys moving forward is to talk to individuals, find out what's going on with them, build that professional alliance, Be a mentor. Now, I'll share this with you. What does it mean to be a mentor? It means you have to act right, right? You have to set a standard. You have to hold that standard. If you're telling somebody that they have an appointment at 9 o'clock with you and you're showing up to the office at 10, that's no good. That's no good at all. You're also going to be judged on the way you carry yourself, how you talk to people. It's important. It's important. It's also important that, little things like, is your office a hot mess? Y'all seen offices like that? Files everywhere. Now, does that inspire confidence in this person can help me change my life? It doesn't. It really doesn't. So I think that, it's the small things that you've got to be aware of and you've got to be cognizant of as you move through this life as an officer. One of the things that people tend to forget is after today, you will be sworn officers, which means you are a sworn law enforcement officer 24/7, not Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. So where you think that you can go and do something that's not so professional on the weekends, right? It's important that you realize that. It's important that you will be pillars of the communities that you go back to. You will be leaders. And leaders don't always have to have titles before their names. People are going to look to you for guidance. Honestly, most of the communities are going to look to you for guidance. And it doesn't have to be somebody that's on your caseload. One of the things that you have to be cognizant of also is what you say and how you say it. Never, ever say something that you can't or are not prepared to follow through with. If you tell somebody, if you don't do X, then Y is going to happen 3 or 4 times, how credible are you? Not very, right? But make sure you do the research. Ask your supervisor, hey, can I do this? Because if I can't do it, I don't want to say I could do it. You need to be careful with that. And also, you heard some of the previous speakers, they talked a little bit about the individuals you're going to be supervising and how you interact with them. I would strongly encourage you to treat everybody that you come into contact with respect and how you would want to be treated. It's very important that you do that because nobody's going to take advice or you're not going to be effective in anybody's life if you are constantly talking down to them in that they don't even deserve to be in your company, which is wrong. And I'm telling you, that's wrong. Half of you are in here, and you're lucky to be here. One decision, and you could have been on the other side of that desk. So you need to think about that, and you need to stay humbled as you move through this life. It's very important that you understand that. A lot of the folks, especially the young folks, and some of the older folks that you'll supervise, they've never had any structure in their life. And the structure that they've had is not positive. So you have to be that beacon for them. You have to. One of the things that I want to talk to you also about today is situational awareness. You heard that earlier. I can't talk about that enough. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. I'll share a story with you. I've shared it before in other classes, and it'll ring truth for some of you. So I was doing a home visit in this beautiful part of Charlotte. That's a joke. I told them if I made a joke, they better laugh. But I did, and it was a routine home. Well, routine home visit, and some stuff jumped off, and it wasn't even my offender, it was his uncle. So I get on the radio, I call for help, and dispatch says, okay, well, where are you at? That was a problem, because I didn't know the address. I could take you, and all these other officers out here could take you anywhere could physically know and could get to any address that your folks live at. But for me to actually call out the address, that was a problem. So what I did is I yelled the offender's name. Now, he was a frequent flyer. Everybody knew where he lived at. But that's one situation where I failed to be prepared, right? And it could have had devastating effect on me and me being here in front of you. So I will tell you that make sure that when you go to these residents that you go to, that you familiarize yourself with something before you get in, before it happens, as far as knowing where you are. I talked to you a little bit in the back about motor skills and training and learning, taking training serious. Because I'm going to tell you, when you get in it, you're not going to have time to think about what's happening, and your training is going to take over, and the motor skills are going to take over. And it's very, very important that you pay attention while you're in training, and you make sure that you grasp all of those things. And, I'll share another thing. I'll share another situation that I got myself into. But knocked on the door, asked the offender, was anybody else in the residence? No, sir. No, sir. I walk in, there's like 8 people in there. And they're all behind closed doors until they come out. So I backed out of that house. I said, you come see me tomorrow. And that was it for that, right? Because, first of all, I was outnumbered. Second of all, this man just lied to me, and I don't know what they got going on in there. That's situational awareness. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Make sense? Okay. Another thing that I want to speak to you briefly, and I mean briefly on it, you are going to be the expert in the individuals that you're supervising. So when you go to court with these individuals, make sure that you have a plan for success thought about and staffed with your supervisor. Because the court may or may not ask for a recommendation from you. If they do ask for a recommendation, please have something intelligent to say. Right? You don't want to be that officer who says, well, Your Honor, I don't know, I'll just leave it to the court. Don't do that. They're dependent on you. They are. They're extremely dependent on you. And the last thing that I'll leave you with is social media. Y'all heard about my stance on social media? So I'll talk to the family members then, and I'll remind your colleagues of my stance on social media. I don't like social media. If I could ban you from social media, I would ban you from social media. Because the odds are one of y'all going to get yourselves in trouble. I'll share this with you, and especially with your family members. The world that you're going into, the people that you're going to supervise are not stupid. They are going to want to know as much about you as you know about them. And they can get to your social media. Locked, unlocked, it doesn't matter. They can get there. So be careful what you post as far as your children's school, where you're going on vacation, what time you're going on vacation, and all this stuff. You need to be careful what you're posting. You absolutely do. And I'm going to tell you, anything you post can and will be used against you. It will. It will. A defense attorney worth his salt will look at your social media and discredit you on the stand. And I'm going to tell you, if that happens, you got a big problem. You do. So you need to be careful with that. If you had a hard day, don't put it on social media. If the court didn't agree with your recommendation, don't talk about the court. And definitely don't talk about me. I'm a good guy. Don't talk about me. But it is important that you realize that social media can be your friend and can be your enemy. I can tell you now that every one of you, the teams that you're going back to, those folks out there in the black and tan have already looked at your social media. They absolutely have, because they want to know what kind of person they're going to be putting their lives in your hands. Right? Okay. You heard Mr. Mazik talk about our fallen officers. And I will speak to that just briefly. I will tell you when the incident occurred, myself, Secretary Ishii, and the governor got on a plane, flew to Charlotte, met with the families. It was awful. There's nothing about that was fun. We have spent the last week caring for the families of our fallen. Matter of fact, as soon as I finish here, I'm headed to Hickory. Not here to second guess whatever happened on that day, but I will tell you that it's a wake-up call for all of us. Situational awareness. I'm telling you, if it doesn't feel right, you leave that place. You take your training serious. This is big people stuff here. How many of you, this is your first job out of school? Raise your hands. Only one? Okay. Is there another one? All right, I'm going to ask it one more time. Raise your hand if this is your first job out of school. All right, there's a handful of you, okay? The learning curve is steep. These are dangerous people that you're dealing with. Not all of them, but some of them. As you move on in this career, you'll figure that out. A lot of stuff will be instinctual. Make sense? But you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. And lean on your colleagues here in black and tan. When they talk to you, listen. Because none of y'all don't know anything yet. You think you do, but you don't. You don't. And if they're kind enough to bring you in and talk about a scenario that they found themselves into, you better go in and you better listen, because that's where the real school is. They will teach you and you will learn how should you react when this happens. Now, basic training has taught you a lot, and you need to continue to build on that. You really, really do. So, I am going to congratulate you again. I couldn't be more proud of you. You are all heroes in my eyes. And one day you will save a life and not even know you saved a life. You will, just by the mere fact of taking up this badge. So I congratulate you and welcome to the family.
Thank you, Deputy Secretary Lee. Our next guest is Mr. Spencer Noble. He is the Director of the Office of Staff Development and Training. He began his career with the department in October 2004 as a probation officer with community supervision, where he worked in Divisions 1 and 2 until he was promoted to Chief Probation and Parole Officer in Wake County in 2010. He then went on to the position of Assistant Judicial District Manager in 2014, overseeing Durham, Chatham, and Orange counties. And in 2017, he was promoted to the position of Judicial District Manager in Wake County. Director Noble attained General Instructor certification in 2009 and went on to obtain certifications in the following specialties: controls, restraints, and defensive techniques, firearms, OC pepper spray, unlawful workplace harassment, and taser. He attended Barton College, where he received his bachelor's degree in criminology and criminal justice, and he received his master's degree in criminal justice studies from East Carolina in 2004. Additionally, he is a 2015 graduate of the Correctional Leadership Development Program. Please welcome Director Spencer Noble.
Good morning. It is an honor to be here for Class 3 and 3A. But before I begin, because I like to give out some awards, I'd like to share some words from us, from OSDT. But I would be remiss without thanking my staff and my chain of command who has come out to support you. So I want to thank my supervisor, Deputy Secretary Stephanie Freeman, who came out to join today. Also my staff, several of you got to know the instructors, Instructor Thomas, Instructor Middleton behind me, and Lockett, as well as Mr. Gammon in the back. Some of our instructors couldn't be here today, but thank them as well. And also Mr. Matthew Waddell, the coordinator for this program. A lot of work goes into putting this together, and especially with this big class, because we had class here and one in Apex. There's a lot of behind the scenes that some of our folks sometimes don't get the credit that they deserve. But Ms. Tamika Farmer, who out front greeted several of you handing out programs, she's instrumental in getting this, not only graduation, but also basic training going. So I want to thank them. And also thank the staff here at Samarcand, Director Rebuck and his staff, for allowing us to be here on this day. A few things about training. You've heard Deputy Secretary Lee talk about training. Today is the end of your basic training. And Ms. Beckham, I believe you said your journey doesn't stop here. It doesn't. It's going to continue. Training is going to continue. And I strongly recommend and encourage each and every one of you to not just do the bare minimum of training, especially given like what has occurred in the last week to our family, our DAC family and the families of the fallen. It is important that you take training serious. Yes, basic training was 8 long weeks, and I know there were days and probably weeks that you were tired, that you didn't want to be there, that you had things at home that happened that you needed to be at home, but you were here. You've got to fight through those sometimes, because there might be one thing that you get in that class that will make a decision for you later in life, later in your career. Save a life, save your life, or so much more. So it is strongly encourage you to not just finish today and think my training is over, I'm just going to get the in-service. Take those opportunities for the training that occurs in your community colleges or back home, where you get those opportunities because they're free. You don't have to pay for those. And you get so much more than just your basic. Today is the end of basic, but you've got a career ahead of you that is going to be filled with so much more than what you're just going to get in 8 weeks. So I challenge each of you to do that. The last thing I will leave you with is we've heard about reputation, and I think Mr. Arnold, you talked about integrity. I say something called training integrity, and that is where you don't just go through the bare minimum of your training, just like I said, that you take your training serious. Every one of y'all probably made a mistake in active assailant, and you probably smiled and laughed about it and had a good time with it. That's fine. We want you to have that in training. But at the end of the day, we want you to make every single mistake in training, because that's where learning is going to occur. Because what we don't want to happen is you're on the streets or you're in the field in your communities and you have that one decision, because that ultimately could be the only decision you can make. We want to make sure you're prepared. So please, in training, when you're in CRDT and you're doing 1,000 break falls in basic that we know you did, make those mistakes there, because we want you to see that mistake so we can fix it, because you're not going to have that opportunity to make multiple decisions once you're in your career. Other than that, I want to be one of the first to congratulate you before I get to the award part of the ceremony. So every basic training class, we give out 2 separate awards. One is for the highest handgun score, and one is for the highest exam score. So for Class 3, the highest handgun score, if Officer Samuel from Wilson County will come up with a score of 97. The highest exam score for Class 3, would Officer Bervon from Cumberland County please come up with a score of 92? For the highest handgun score for Class 3A, Officer Powell from Johnston County with a score of 99. And for the highest exam score for Class 3A, we have 3 recipients. With a high score of 84, would Officer Lanier from Wake County come up? Our second recipient, Officer Monroe from Johnston County. Congratulations. And last but not least, Officer Powell from Johnston County. And before I close, I failed to mention two of my staff, Deputy Director Michael Burnett, who is in the back of the room, as well as Deputy Director Felicia Banks is present here as well. So I want to recognize them. But graduates, again, may I be one of the first to congratulate you. I know it's a long 8 weeks, but congratulations and welcome to the family.
Thank you, Director Noble. Our next guest is here to make you all official. The Honorable Judge Tanya A. Cutchin is a native of Rocky Mount, and she graduated from Rocky Mount Senior High in 1994. She graduated with honors from North Carolina Central University in 1998, with a Bachelor of Business Administration in Accounting. In 2003, she received a joint degree in a Master's of Business Administration and a Juris Doctor from North Carolina Central University. Judge Cutchin is licensed to practice law in the District of Columbia and North Carolina. After graduation, Judge Cutchin represented major corporations and federal agencies as a corporate attorney in the District of Columbia. In 2005, she relocated to Greensboro to work in private practice. As an associate attorney, her practice included domestic, personal injury, and criminal law. Judge Cutchin represented numerous clients in the North Carolina District Court, Superior Court, United States Federal Court for North Carolina, both the Middle and Western Districts, the United States Federal District Court for the District of Columbia, and is licensed in the United States Supreme Court. Judge Cutchin served her community as an assistant public defender for 7 years as the District Court Supervisor. In 2016, Judge Cutchin was elected to Guilford County District Court Judge. As a certified juvenile court judge, she had the opportunity to preside over every type of case in district court. In 2022, Governor Roy Cooper appointed Judge Cutchin to the Superior Court bench. Judge Cutchin is committed to ensuring that each citizen of Guilford County receives justice and fair representation as provided by the Constitution. She serves Guilford County with the hope of creating certain change in the county by being actively involved in many community organizations. She currently serves the community as a board member of Caring Services, Piedmont School. She is a sustaining member of the Junior League of Greensboro, the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Guilford Inn of Court, Women's Professional Forum, League of Women Voters, American Association of University Women, and is chair of the steward of the Ministry of Mount Zion Baptist Church. Judge Cutchin also served as an executive board member of the Guilford County Education Alliance, the Mental Health Associates of the Triad, the Greensboro YWCA, Piedmont of Greensboro Criminal Defense, President of the Greensboro Criminal Defense Lawyers Association, and the Boy Scouts of America Troop Treasurer. She received the 2021 Distinguished Faculty Member of the Year, the Higher Height Humanitarian Award, the Men and Women of Smith Leader of the Year, and was recently recognized on the nationally syndicated show Good Morning America. Judge Cutchin has also served as professor for over 16 years. We are glad she has found time in her busy schedule to be here to swear us in. So please welcome the Honorable Judge Cutchin.
Good morning to our Deputy Secretary Lee, Director Noble, all other program speakers, family and friends, and most important, Class 3 and Class 3A of the 2024 graduates. I charge you to remember this day, May 9th, 2024. This is the first day of the next chapter of your life. No matter what you've been through, no matter what you've overcome, I'm sure you face moments in your life where you had no idea what to do next. I charge you to be fearless, to be faithful, and to be a fighter. In order to be fearless, you must take that first step. Fear may play a role, of course, in your life, but you decide how much. Don't allow the unknown to deter you from pressing forward when it comes to setting goals, preparing a plan to achieve those goals, especially in this profession. Take that first step, even though you are unsure where it may lead. Being fearless means that you become your biggest cheerleader. Take those steps without that fear of failure. Take a chance to do what you love, because failure is not an option. It's not something that you should be afraid of. It's something that you should use as fuel, something that should empower you. Learn to make failure, or the fear of failure, your fuel. Take those steps without fear of rejection, because at this point, you must be driven by your purpose here today. Therefore, you must be faithful. Faith is the substance of things hoped for the evidence of things not seen. Your faith has brought you here on May 9th, 2024. You were created for a particular purpose, which is to serve. Trust that plan. It is impossible to see without that faith. Therefore, you must maintain and protect that faith, as well as your persistence of peace. Remember that integrity is your most valuable asset in this profession. Do not allow anyone to compromise your integrity, your professionalism, your faith, or your peace. You must have the infinite amount of faith to trust this process to be here today. Have faith in yourself. Be faithful to your dreams. Be faithful to your goals. And lastly, but not least, be that fighter. You will face and encounter many things in this profession, but you must have that fight to fight. You will face tough days, but you never stop fighting. Stay vigilant and surround yourself with the people that are here today as the backbone of being here and being present in this room. These are your supporters. Surround yourself with mentors that celebrate you, not tolerate you. Believe in you as well as your success. Follow your heart as well as your intuition. You are the hero of your own life. Your greatest gift on this moment, this day that you graduate, May 9th, 2024, is to commit to the journey, not just the outcome. You understand that life is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So therefore, in this profession, you understand that you will not have that perfect journey. But the only way to do great work is to love what you do. There will be difficult times. Your work will encounter most of your life. Disappointment will come, but keep fighting. Fight for yourself, fight for the people that you serve, fight for your community, fight for those that have supported you, and fight for your dreams. You deserve it. At this point, you will face challenges, disappointments, setbacks, but continue to fight. If you saw the size of your blessing that was coming, you would truly understand the magnitude of your battle. Life doesn't happen to you, life happens for you. So therefore, I ask that you be fearful, you be faithful, be that fighter. At this time, I will ask the Class 3 and 3A graduates to please stand. If you plan to affirm, I will ask that you raise your right hand. If you plan to swear, I will ask that you place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. I, please state your name. I ask that you repeat after me. Do solemnly or firmly swear. And sincerely swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God. I, please state your name. Do affirm or solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as probation parole officer. So help me God. Congratulations. I look forward to working with you, and I will see you in court.
At this time, we will present the graduates with their badges. If you would please hold your applause until the end. We'll begin with Class 3. Officer Adrian Baker. Officer Alfred Bliddy. Officer Robert Borvin. Officer Elois Collier. Officer Tierra Cruz. Officer Hannah Guestwicki. Officer Andravia Grace. Officer Brian Howe. Officer Curlin John Joost. Officer Letitia Jones. Officer Tierra Jordan. Officer Katie Kelly. Officer Taylor Lugo. Officer Matthew Morrell. Officer Kayla Powell. Officer Arnold Samuel. Officer James Stock. Officer Madison Summy. Officer Shakoria Ward. Officer Jerry Waters. Officer Stacy Wood. At this time, we will be presenting the badges to Class 3A. Officer Shadorian Amerson. Officer Naomi Baez. Officer Felicia Banks. Officer Sharunique Beckton. Officer Shonda Collins. Officer Rashara Gilbert. Officer Hannah Good Hudson. Officer Alexis Harrell. Officer Ariel Johnson. Officer Milton Jones III. Officer Brianna Lanier. Officer Dejanay Monroe. Officer Deontay Newville. Officer David Powell. Officer Zara Ramey. Officer Tanya Wilson. Officer Morgan Windley. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the state of North Carolina's newest probation officers.
On behalf of the Division of Community Supervision, I'd like to thank Samarcand Training Academy for allowing us to host this ceremony here and for the hospitality they have shown our cadets throughout this training. Officers, congratulations again. I hope you're all proud of what you've accomplished here, and I hope that this is the start of a long, rewarding career filled with many more accomplishments. Hopefully one day your list of accomplishments will be as impressive as Judge Cutchin's here. At this time, if everyone would please stand for the official final dismissal of class.
By the power vested in me by the state of North Carolina in the Office of Staff Development and Training, Class 3 and Class 3A, you are officially dismissed.
Friends, family, and staff, we are going to take two class photos up here. There is not enough room for everybody to come up, so please just stand by. Those pictures will be shared. Officers, badges on next, please.